Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those and we and us and everybody else. So, thank you for coming along this afternoon to the Flinders Zero Carbon Community Roadmap 2030 presentation and discussion. This afternoon we've got a couple of things to go through just to bring you up to date. And go to the next slide, please. So this afternoon, what we'll do is go through a bit of background on what's been happening with this committee since we last saw people, and some of you will have attended the forum that was held about 18 months ago. We've had a whole lot of things being done since then. We've got a couple of guest speakers for you this afternoon. Darren Knight from FZCC, who has been working with us to help produce our roadmap for the next 5 to 6 years to get to 2030. Darren will go through what she's prepared for us and give us a bit of an update on some of the background work that she's done with Kenyon. We'll then have a brief session with question time, and we'll follow up with Chris Long, who has been involved with the Yarra Energy Foundation and the preparation and establishment of the community battery in North Fitzroy. And that's one of the first metropolitan community batteries that's been put in place. So Chris will go through some of the benefits of a community battery, how they work, and what they might do for us in Flinders, and some suggestions about how we might move forward. We'll then have some questions for Chris. We do have a representative from the Shire coming, which has been held up, unfortunately. Her husband took a car leave, so she's running a little bit late. Then we'll have just a general information section, and you're able to ask questions that you might have thought of subsequent to the speakers. And then at the completion, we'll draw it to a close. We are always looking for additional members to join our committee, and we're looking in particular at the moment for someone who's an expert in social media and has the skills to manage our Facebook and website and all those sorts of things. So if you know of anybody who's interested, please come and see us later on. I think the other important thing we need to do is really go through what is Flinders Zero Carbon all about? What are our objectives? What are our aims? What are we trying to do? Leah? Right, we'll put it on. Okay, our first objective is to try and, for the Flinders community, to reach net zero emissions by 2030. That's a major task. It involves a lot of hard work by a lot of people. It involves a lot of investment from an individual point of view, and hopefully from a government and community point of view as well. We would like to see Flinders energy be 100% renewable by 2030. So that means we produce enough energy within the Flinders community to support the Flinders community. Now, Taryn will talk a little bit later about how people have achieved that themselves. One of the first zero carbon community centres.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And we're seeking for Flinders to become overall carbon. There's lots of definitions that we can throw around for what that really means, but essentially what we're trying to do is produce as much energy as we can at the local level, so we don't have to rely on long transmission cables, we don't have to rely on coal-powered energy, and we're seeking to produce our energy either from rooftop solar or from wind power, individual or community-based wind turbines. Whether Flinders is capable of holding turbines is probably yet to be determined. We don't quite know yet, but we know those that have wind here occasionally. There may be situations where individuals are prepared to invest in their own wind turbines at some future point. So let me go on to the next big this is what we've done in the last 18 months since we last saw you. We've conducted 2 surveys. We've tried to get out through Facebook and online to try and get people to express their views and make their opinions known. And we've conducted a Q&A forum online last year. We've completed what we call the Flinders Community Battery Feasibility Study, and that has been undertaken by Chris Wallen and people from Yarra Energy Foundation, and Chris will talk more about that this afternoon. We presented the Electric Vehicle Forum, the EV Forum, last year. That was very popular. We had a number of people come along to that. FZCC has become an incorporated entity in its own right, so it is now a legally identifiable organisation, and we're now no longer part of or a subcommittee of the Flinders Community Association. The Flinders Community Association has been the fundamental foundation group supporting this group, and we've now moved to establish ourselves as an incorporated association through an incorporation association. We've continued our liaison with Waterton Peninsula Shire, Repower, which is the Shire's community face, if you like, for carbon reduction, energy production, etc. And that group has been trying to form committees and groups around the peninsula like we have here, and are working to try and establish some sort of locally generated power options for all the communities on the peninsula. Still early days for that group, but we've started that process, and the Shire has been supporting that. We've also been talking to United Energy, who are the major providers of the infrastructure for power into the community of Flinders. And when we talk about the community of Flinders, we're talking about the whole of postcode 3929. So it's not just the town centre, we are also talking about the broader rural interface that we have. And we've got about 1,100 residential properties within that 3929 postcode. So it's a significant community, even though it's small. But the advantage we have is that we are at the end of 2 feeding power lines, one from Hastings, one from Rosebank. So we are at the end of the line, and it's seen by United Energy as a good place to look for alternative energy support systems. So we're certainly keen to work with United Energy to try and improve some of the things that we've got currently. We know that if there's a power outage, half of Flinders usually goes out, the other half doesn't. And we've raised with United Energy why that's the case, and can't we balance the two incoming supply lines. So they're things that we've been talking about, and we're continuing to encourage people to increase the uptake of rooftop solar. Currently around Flinders we have about 29% of the households that have got solar generation capacity, and we need to increase that significantly if we are to achieve a carbon neutral Flinders by 2030. So those of you who have installed solar, terrific, fantastic. Those of you who haven't but have thought about it, we would suggest that you move quickly on that, try and take advantage of the government subsidies and so on that are currently available to install solar capacity on your rooftops. And we do have ideal, fairly free sunshine that comes through into Flinders on a regular basis. This afternoon, I know our system at home has been generating something like 3,500 watts of energy this afternoon. So there's significant benefits in having solar on your rooftop. And we encourage everyone to do that. The other thing that we're encouraging at the moment is for people to think about their gas-operated appliances, whether it's heating, hot water, or cooking. The price of gas, as everybody knows, and if you haven't been listening to the radio, perhaps you haven't heard, but the price of gas in particular has gone through the roof, and people are getting shocked by the rate of increases that seem to be coming through the gas market. And those of you with bottled gas will probably feel that even more because the prices have skyrocketed for bottled gas as well.
Sorry, Ralph.
Yeah.
Do you mind just holding on to the phone because the people online can't hear very well? Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, if I stand over this side, will that work better?
That'll be better.
Thank you.
Or I'll disconnect for you together.
I'm standing over this side, so for those people who saw me from that way, I've shifted. So we certainly are trying to encourage people to think about what appliances they have at home and whether or not they are in a position to upgrade or replace gas cooktops, gas hot water services and so on. And the state government has got a number of programs available for people wanting to upgrade their electric hot water services or gas hot water services to electric power and so on. So we do have a number of people who within our committee who are aware of different opportunities and different providers of those services. So we can provide links to that. And the Repower Group is currently setting up a list of preferred suppliers within the peninsula who may be able to assist that further. Now, one of the things that small communities have to do is rely on support from the community to do things like this. So today I'd like to acknowledge the support we've had from the Flinders General Store and David Gibb, the Flinders Hotel, the Clean Ocean Foundation, Cause Chambers Westgarth, who provided some legal advice to us, Bendigo Bank, who are always supporting community activities, the Shire itself. We have been successful in securing a grant from the Shire to establish a website for FZCC. The Flinders Community Association, who helped us get started. We acknowledge the support we've had from them. Also, the signage that you might have seen around the place has been supported by Archie Hector and Marshall White, the local real estate agents. So I'd like to just acknowledge the support that those groups have provided to us so far, and we look forward to anyone else who wants to make financial support available to the group. It would be most welcome. The other thing to mention is that the federal government, in its election campaign earlier on this, or late last year, was talking about a community battery program, and the guidelines for funding community batteries has recently been released, and applications for funding of community batteries will be coming online within the next month. So we hope to be making a full application for a local community battery for Flinders. At the same time, we need to work out what the structure of that grant may be, how we might qualify. There were 58 communities across Australia that were nominated for community batteries from federal funding, and Flinders was one of those communities. Partly because we've been working on this for some time, partly because United Energy said it was a good idea, partly because the Shire has been involved in establishing community interest in community batteries and so on. So there's some positive vibes coming from the federal government at the moment for Flinders to be an eligible community for a battery to be installed. And the grants for those community batteries are in the order of $500,000. So it's a big opportunity for us, and it's one that might help get us started on this track to zero carbon by 2030. Okay, that's probably enough from me at the moment.